Well, how about we add transporting illegal goods across borders to our long list of major crimes? Yeah? The buyer for this stuff wants it dropped on a barge out at sea. Take the goods to the chopper, then fly them out there.
Hey, what's going on? Okay, but only for a minute.
Hey, I've got an update for you. When you get there, you should see a cargo barb helicopter ready and waiting. Use the cargo hook on it to airlift your goods to the barge out at sea. Easy, right? Of course! All right, I've been... Hey, you made the sale. You got the...
Hello, you're through to Pegasus Lifestyle Management. How can I help? Great. The aircraft is waiting for you at our nearest airfield. We trust you'll be happy, sir.
I want a baby.
Gas prices contribute up to 60% of that monthly headline number. Treasury yields now at 4.316. It's nuts. So here we go. Let's get the numbers. 0.6 on the headline and 0.2 core is what we're looking for. Ooh, we got hot on core. Not what we want. We got 0.6 on the headline as expected. But core actually comes in way hotter at 0.3. We were really expecting core to come in at 0.2, if not with the average somewhere like 0.18 or 0.16. So a hot number here on core is probably not going to be great for yields and stocks today. CPI year over year also comes in hot from 3.6. We got 3.7. So a couple numbers here, a little warmer than expected. We're going to go through and get some of the actual details here in the CPI report, but it is a little hotter than expected. I would anticipate Treasury yields potentially starting to want to price in that one extra Fed Reserve hike, though a lot of people are saying, no. The Fed's done. This is still going to be close enough. We'll see what happens. We do right now have the NASDAQ dropping in pre-market, quite what appears to be a little bit of an aggressive reaction. You very frequently get this bounce. Either you drop to this fib retracement or it's your resistance, or clearly dropping down off of it, down about 0.5% on the NASDAQ right now. It is a disappointing increase in the core, and that's already now coupling with that higher headline. You kind of don't want that because now you have two pieces of news that just aren't that great. So it'll be neat to see what is actually contributing to this boost in core. So we're going to go through the actual CPI report right here. In just a moment. If it's something that's maybe a volatile component within core, maybe it could be theorized that could be stripped out, but you have to be really careful about always stripping things out of inflation reports, because ultimately it is important that all of it ends up coming down. Even the headline numbers have to come down. Eventually, you need headline numbers to be in line with the 2% goal of the Federal Reserve for inflation. Now, they could argue it needs to be an average, all this, but keep in mind, eventually, headline and core all have to be in line with 2%. So today we're going a little bit, unfortunately, in the opposite direction for both of those. Here's the actual CPI report, 10-year yield up about 5 basis points right now. It is definitely a disappointment, though, because as we've said, it's not a straight line to 2%. It's going to frustrate some folks a bit. Okay, so what do we have here? Here it is. 0.6% seasonally adjusted basis. Gasoline, as we expected, was the largest contributor to all monthly items increase, accounting for over half the index, as we were saying, somewhere usually around 60%. Contributing to the August monthly increase was the continued advance in the shelter index. Really? Okay, well, that's really interesting because shelter is part of core. We really are waiting to get shelter out of this equation, and shelter just continues to sort of rip off this inflation figure here. Energy rose 5.6%. Major components increased. Food was up 0.2, as it was in July. The index for food at home was 0.2. It was 0.3 in August. So what did shelter do here? Let's see here. The index for all items less food and energy rose 0.3%, following a 0.2% increase in July. The indices which increased in August included rent, owner's equivalent rent, motor vehicle insurance, medical care, and personal care. Now, we were expecting the following three here: insurance, medical care, personal care. We were expecting these to go up. The problem is we're also expecting rent and owner's equivalent rent to come down. And so these things are actually still staying aggressive. Not great. Let's see what the actual numbers are here. Let's see. Food, energy, all items less food and energy, that's fine. Let's go, what do we have here with cars? Quickly, here we go. Shelter index was the largest factor in the monthly increase in the index for items less food and energy. Among the other indices that rose in August was the index for motor vehicle insurance, the index for airfares, personal care, new vehicles, household furnishings, and household operations also increased. Wow, we were looking for a negative in airfares. New vehicles, we were looking for a negative as well. Instead, you got used cars and trucks falling 1.2% in August, but still had positives in some of these other items. Okay, let's go straight to the actual chart here so we can find out what's going on with these core services, and not only the core services, but also those rents. here we go. So we're looking at the July to August change right here for the month over month. And then we can look at the year-over-year numbers right here. So these two columns are really important. And when we look down these columns, which is here and here, we're going to be rent of shelter up 7.3% year over year. Look at that. Still actually, that is softer though. 0.3% for rent of shelter. Housing index only contributing 0.3%. That's interesting. They're suggesting that was a big contributor, which housing generally is, but it's actually not that aggressive. It actually declined here to 0.3 from, and this is the unadjusted change, so let's remove that. The last two reads here being 0.4 and 0.4, we actually did go down to 0.3. Lodging away from home comes in at negative 3%. Rent of primary residence coming in at 0.5, though. Good, that is still a little hot compared to that drop we had there to 0.4 for a moment. So it's that owner's equivalent rent that's still sticky right there. That's going to contribute quite a bit, as you can see in the weights here. Owner's equivalent rent of primary residence here is weighted at 24. Once you add all the different rent categories together, you had about 34.4% contributing to rent. Some of the other services that were heavy over here, we've got 0.6% water, sewage, moving and freight, negative 1.9%, less people moving, not a surprise. You've got less home selling. It's actually not a surprise, especially now going into Q3, Q4.